A watch just sold for $31 million. Not a mansion. A watch. But here's where it gets crazy. That record-breaking piece only sits at number 1 on a list filled with watches that cost more than luxury penthouses, Bugatti hypercars, and even small islands. And the number 1 watch on this list? It didn't just break records. It rewrote the entire watch industry overnight. Let's start with number 10. At 10. The Rolex Bao Dai. Price, $5.1 million. This watch belonged to the last emperor of Vietnam, Bao Dai. And yes, royalty wore it. But that alone doesn't explain the insane price. This is one of the rarest Rolex watches ever made. Only 3 black dial Rolex references with diamond markers were ever produced. But here's where it gets interesting. Bao Dai personally picked this watch in 1954 while attending the Geneva Peace Conference. Out of every Rolex in the store, he chose the most expensive one they had. Decades later, collectors fought over it at auction. And the hammer dropped at $5.1 million. But somehow, that's still just the beginning. 9. The Patek Philippe Reference 1518, stainless steel. Price, $11 million. Most luxury watches are made from gold or platinum. But this one? Stainless steel. And that's exactly why collectors went insane for it. This is the first perpetual calendar chronograph ever mass-produced by Patek Philippe. But the steel version is almost mythical. Only 4 examples are known to exist. 4. That's rarer than many Ferraris. And when one appeared at auction in 2016, the bidding war exploded. Within minutes, it shattered expectations and sold for $11 million. For a steel watch. But the next watch makes this one look almost affordable. 8. The Rolex Daytona Paul Newman. Price, $17.8 million. This isn't just a watch. It's a piece of Hollywood legend. The watch belonged to Paul Newman, the Oscar-winning actor and racing icon. His wife gave it to him with a simple engraving on the back. Drive carefully. And he wore it constantly. During races, on film sets, in interviews. Over time, the model became known as the Paul Newman Daytona. Collectors obsessed over it. But when Newman's actual watch hit auction in 2017, something unbelievable happened. Bidders pushed the price to $17.8 million. At the time, it became the most expensive wristwatch ever sold. But that record didn't last long. Because number 7 took things even further. 7. Jacob & Company. Billionaire watch. Price, $18 million. This watch looks less like a timepiece, and more like a solid block of diamonds. The Jacob & Company. Billionaire watch is covered in 260 carats of emerald-cut diamonds. Every surface sparkles. The bracelet, the case, even parts of the movement. But here's what's wild. Despite all those diamonds, it still contains a fully skeletonized mechanical movement. Meaning you can see every gear turning inside. It's engineering, hidden inside a diamond fortress. And when one sold for $18 million, it instantly became one of the flashiest watches ever created. But the next watch is something entirely different. Less diamonds, more pure horological genius. 6. Patek Philippe Henry Graves Super Complication. Price, $24 million. This watch isn't just expensive. It's legendary. Commissioned by American banker Henry Graves Jr. in the 1920s. This pocket watch took 8 years to build. Why? Because it contained 24 complications. Meaning 24 mechanical functions. Calendar, moon phases, star charts, sunrise and sunset times, and even a map of the night sky over Graves' home in New York. And remember, this was built before computers existed. Every gear was designed by hand. When it sold for $24 million, collectors called it one of the greatest watches ever made. But even that masterpiece couldn't hold the crown forever. Because number 5 changed the game again. 5. Chopard 201-carat watch. Price, $25 million. At first glance, you can't even see the watch. Just diamonds. Massive ones. The Chopard 201-carat watch is built around 3 heart-shaped diamonds. A 15-carat pink diamond, a 12-carat blue diamond, and an 11-carat white diamond. Together they form a flower that opens to reveal the watch face hidden inside. And the total diamond weight? 201 carats. It's less a watch, and more a piece of wearable treasure. Valued at $25 million. But the next watch is where history was rewritten. 4. Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime Reference 6300A. Price, $31 million. This watch changed everything. When it sold in 2019, the watch world froze. Because the final price? 31 million. The most expensive watch ever sold at auction. But why? First, it's the only Grandmaster chime ever made in stainless steel. Second, it contains 20 complications, including a minute repeater and perpetual calendar. But here's the wildest feature. The watch actually has two faces. A reversible case lets you flip it over to reveal a completely different dial. Two watches in one. And collectors fought fiercely for it. But strangely, it still isn't the most outrageous watch ever created. Because the next entries are almost unbelievable. 3. Graff Diamonds, the fascination. Price, $40 million. This watch hides something insane. At its center sits a 38-carat pear-shaped diamond. Perfect. Flawless. But here's where it gets crazy. The diamond can actually detach from the watch and transform into a ring. Meaning one piece of jewelry becomes two ultra-luxury items. The rest of the watch? Also covered in 152 carats of white diamonds. Total value? 40 million. But even that level of extravagance still isn't the most expensive watch ever created. Because number 2 pushes luxury into another dimension. 2. Graff Diamonds hallucination. Price, $55 million. This isn't a watch. It's a rainbow explosion of rare diamonds. Pink, blue, green, orange, yellow, all natural colored diamonds. And those are some of the rarest gemstones on Earth. Every diamond is precision cut and arranged across the bracelet and case. The total cost? A staggering $55 million. For something that tells time. But unbelievably, one watch still beats it. And what makes it number 1 is almost impossible to believe. 1. Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime, Unique Charity Edition. Price, $31 million auction record. Now here's the twist. The most expensive watch ever sold at auction is still the Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime. But what makes it legendary isn't just the price. It was created as a one-of-one charity piece for the only watch auction. Collectors knew there would never be another one like it. So when bidding started, the numbers skyrocketed. Millions. Then tens of millions. Until the final hammer dropped at $31 million. The most anyone has ever paid for a watch at auction. And it proved something incredible. In the world of ultra-luxury, time itself can become one of the most valuable things money can buy. One tiny machine on your wrist, worth more than a private jet. But if you think these watches are insane, wait until you see the luxury vacation billionaires get.